Myself, Aparna Suresh, coming from KLPG College of Agriculture, Engineering and Technology, Malappuram.
All right. Yes.
Hello everyone, I am Anusha AS. I am a final year BSc Zoology student from University College, Thiruvananthapuram.
Your 30 seconds starts right now.
The story of how Maharashtra and Karnataka went from a clear electoral mandate to a political mess, orchestrated defections and horse trade, shows the need of a government that is formed out of a party with maximum number of seats, which is invulnerable to the blackmail from its allies. Only such a party is able to handle the pulls and pressures of the regional parties at the national level rather than having a deliberation with them. Unless such a party is able to work for the social, cultural, ethical welfare of the people rather than going for political dilemmas.
All right. Thank you. And against the motion, your 30 seconds starts now.
The party securing maximum seats should not be allowed to form a government because firstly, it will lead to the creation of a dictatorship regime where the party truly controls and owns everything in a state. Secondly, the regional aspirations of a party will not be fulfilled due to the inconspicuous representation of a regional party. Thirdly, undemocratic bills will be passed unopposed. The will of a broader mind of people will not be taken into account to carry out the particular ideologies of a party. Example is the Citizenship Amendment Bill, which drew flake from all over India but was passed due to the party getting a maximum of seats in the legislature.
Your time up. Now we have 2 minutes for the debate and your time starts now.
In the 2017 Goa elections, 43.2% of people voted against BJP. Still, it was able to form the government, showing how the party that is favored by the allies can form the government instead of the one that is favored by the people of India.
Out to you.
The Goa election also witnessed how 8 MLAs from the Congress party defected to the BJP party. Also, I would like to quote the example of what happened 44 years ago when India went through a darkest phase in democracy where the party securing the maximum seats was able to carry out the whims of its government by carrying out the emergency bill and restricting the human rights and custodial deaths and mass sterilization.
Out to you.
Talking about history, I would like to point how the 11 out of the 11 coalition governments that we've had in the history of India, only 3 coalition governments could complete the full tenure, showing how the unstable and inconsistent coalition governments are.
Questions have always been raised about the instability of a coalition government, but we can say with right that the United Progressive Alliance was the most stable government of a coalition government. It passed many milestone landmarks for the right to information, signed the nuclear treaty, and was also able to create many reforms which were mentioned in the manifesto, taking into interest every party.
Again, talking about the UPA alliance, the GST bill that was conceptualized almost 10 years ago was passed only when the BJP government came into power, showing how the coalition government is unable to go for economic reforms in our country.
What we can say about the BJP government, it is not a government that is purely part out of a party that has maximum seats. It is also a coalition because National Democratic Alliance is the coalition there. It is also a coalition. So coalition has led to the passing of the GST bill. There also we cannot say that the party with maximum seats was able to pass it.
The coalition government that existed from 2009 to 2014 that was highly prone to cryonism, corruption, was again voted against by the people and they chose for majoritarian rule in our country.
These problems can also arise in a single party system. It is inevitable to the democracy. Now let me talk about the case of the Jharkhand elections of 2011. There 81 seats are there for the assembly seats and the party getting maximum seats had...
Time up. Ladies, kindly switch your podium. Your 30 seconds starts now.
As we say, too many cooks spoil the broth. Therefore, too many political parties controlling the fate of the people will only lead to anarchy and disorder in the government. So a political party securing the maximum seats should be allowed to form the government because firstly, such a government will be politically stable and secure with a common ideology rather than one with a conflicting ideology. Secondly, it will lead to the better implementations of the promises carried out in the manifesto, which is not the case in alliance where one has to compromise on crucial decisions based on the other people's interests. And it will also prevent the defection and the horse riding practices.
Time up and off to you. But now your 30 seconds starts right here.
When power resides in the hand of a single party, radical ideologies, political favorisms and polarization arises. Only a minority government can make sure that the voice of the regional parties is felt at the national level because they are representing the heterogeneity of the demography of the people of India. Only minority government can work against the majority rules which invokes anti-national norms in our country.
Okay, done? All right, now we have 2 minutes for the debate and your time starts now.
In a country like ours, where emphasis is given on the first past the post system, where the election candidates do not require a 50% majority to win a seat, why do we require a majority for a political party to win a seat rather than the maximum number of seats to form a government?
Yes.
Because in case of the majoritarian rule, there is a centralization of power in the hand of the ultimate leader who is controlling the entire government.
But let me also clarify the fact that this system is followed in the local self-governments. You take the example of Trivandrum Corporation, where the seats are total of 100 seats, but the party with the maximum seats, that the CPM, is able to get the governments there just by forming 43 seats, which is clearly less than the majority.
Clear.
Again, at the national level and the local self-government, the growth rate, that is the development rates of the country is declining. That is comparing to the period from 2009 to 2014, the GDP rates are declining. At the current, the growth rate is declining actually.
Okay, yes.
Let
Anisha.
me quote the example of the Maharashtra election. Everyone knows what happened by toppling the people's mandate and creating a coalition government. But let me also say that recently the coalition government declared that a particular ministry belongs to a particular section of the party. The another ministry belongs to another party. Now, in case of infighting in this coalition government, will it not lead to the dysfunctioning of all these ministries, which is totally detrimental for public
Dr.
good?
Panapti.
Let me also remind you of a majoritarian party which is representing a single religion or a single caste, which is again invoking anti-national policies like the CAB, which was passed recently in the parliament.
All right.
See, there the coalition is formed between an ideologically motivated party and also the ones which are different to its ideology. The Shiva Sena has its Hindutva ideology, the Congress has its secularism ideology. How do you think they will be able to go together there?
Achi.
Because the vote bank is now dependent on the religion and the caste factor, that is accordance with the majoritarian rule that is overpowering the country right now this decade.
So to substantiate this, let me give you the example of the AAP government in 2013. It was formed due to the support of the Congress